All right, listen up. This is a story you need to hear. Beginning tomorrow, blueprints to make those 3D guns that John Avlon just talked about will be available to anyone online. The plastic guns will be untraceable, and in some cases, they will be able to avoid metal detectors. Now, several state attorneys general are suing the Trump administration to block the blueprints from actually becoming public. Joining us now is Fred Guttenberg. His 14-year-old daughter, Jamie, was killed in the Parkland school massacre back in February. Fred, nice to see you again.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you explain how this makes any sense?
It doesn't. It's horrible on a lot of levels. 1 week ago, I actually was in D.C. with some folks from the Newtown Action Alliance, and nobody in D.C. on a legislative level even knew about this.
How is that possible, Fred? I just want to stop you right there, because so you had meetings with lawmakers, and you were breaking the news to them? They didn't know that this was about to happen tomorrow?
Unfortunately, it appears this administration did a reversal of a policy that they did not need to do, and they didn't communicate it. Now, those of us in the gun violence prevention movement had been putting out information about it over the past 5 or 6 weeks. But let's face it, traditional media wasn't covering it, and the legislators didn't know. One party last week while I was there got sufficiently horrified. The other party did not.
Okay, so I've read that you met with Democrats, and they were stunned by your news.
Yes. Here is what this country needs to understand. This is the most important story in this country right now. What this administration did, and they did not need to do it, is they actively rolled back the public safety of citizens in the greatest way ever in my lifetime. The president's job is to defend the homeland from domestic and foreign threats. And in doing this, now when you fly on an airplane, you're at risk. Somebody next to you could have a gun. When you go into a government building to visit a legislator, as I explained to the legislators, starting this week, somebody sitting across from them may have a gun. If you go to a sporting event, somebody next to you may have a gun. All of the talk of hardening schools that came out of what happened in Parkland and previously, not going to matter anymore. Someone can now walk in with a gun. There was no need to do this, and the problem is this was a purposeful decision by this administration.
Why? Why?
What's
the motive? When you were on Capitol Hill, why? What did you learn about why they would do this?
Look on the website. The website of the company they did this agreement with specifically says their goal is not to defend the Second Amendment, it's to expand it. If you look at it that way, this puts an end to the talk of what gun safety looks like, because now if you're underage and you want a gun, you'll get it. If you can't pass a background check and you want a gun, you'll get it. If you're potentially at risk of a red flag law and you want a gun, you'll get it. What is shocking to me, well, not shocking, the NRA and the gun manufacturers over the past month have been silent on this. And I've tried to get them to state their opinion. And I think part of the...
I just want to ask you about that, because that seems like a good route to go down, that the gun manufacturers, traditional gun manufacturers, would not like this eating into their market. And so it seems as though you would be able to get their attention.
The problem is there's nothing preventing them from becoming the largest manufacturers of these undetectable weapons.
I see. So, Fred, what is the answer? I mean, you have been, obviously, since the tragedy that happened in Parkland, you've been steeped in gun laws and what to do for cutting down gun violence. What is the answer to stopping this from happening?
Well, we, over the past week, have been reaching out to the states across this country. The answer is right now, we need an injunction, and we need it today. We must put a stop to this agreement. That's the first step. Then it gives the legislators time to react and put a permanent stop. But here's the problem. This company has already broken the terms of this agreement. They were supposed to wait till tonight at midnight. They've been downloading these plans now since Friday. Okay, so over 1,000 sets of blueprints have already been downloaded, which means they've broken the terms of this agreement. And as far as I'm concerned, federal officials should be showing up to that building right now and shutting them down.
Are lawmakers doing anything after your meeting with them and alerting them to this?
The House is out of session, and the Senate is taking action. I mean, listen, they're getting the TSA involved, but they're limited because of the time. There's no time right now to do anything between now and midnight. They are preparing to do something, and they are preparing to pass legislation, but we need a court to impose an injunction. This must be stopped. And I will tell you, if anybody had any doubt about where people stand on their public safety and how to vote this November, look at this issue. This should be the defining issue of this election. This administration put us at risk, and they didn't need to do so. And we must put a stop to this. My daughter died. It was preventable. It didn't need to happen. Why would we add to that risk for others and make it harder to put in place common sense steps that already exist? Metal detectors are now going to be meaningless, okay? It didn't need to be this way, and we need to put a stop to this. So people need to show up and vote. Hopefully a judge will rule correctly today on an injunction. And yes, our legislators I will tell you what our legislators need to do going forward.
Yep.
They need to stop paying attention to the hourly Trump tweet, and they need to pay attention to the real news that's affecting us Americans. This did not need to get missed, and it did. And I am really annoyed about it.
Yeah.
But that includes the media as well. We all need to pay attention to these things. There's real things happening that affect us. This is the most important story in this country right now.
Fred, understood. And we really appreciate you coming on New Day and sounding the alarm about this. We'll be following it closely all day. Thank you very much for being here.